So it seems like old habits come back. So just now we got to see the second trailer for Spider-Man Homecoming. And I've got to say, I am starting to get a little worried about this film. And before anyone asks, I am not here to shit on Spider-Man Homecoming. As a matter of fact, I'm very hyped for this film. I've got nothing against the actors or the costume or how it looks or anything like that. And I still have high hopes that Spider-Man Homecoming is going to be the best Spider-Man film ever. But there's something in this trailer that specifically grinds my gears. And much like previous films, Spider-Man Homecoming has the tendencies of revealing too much. Now the first gripe I have with this trailer is the fact that they decided to spoil the second cameo, which is of course Steve Rogers as Captain America. And although this is nothing really major within the film or in terms of the story, this does in fact cheapen the impact of having this cameo. Whenever we go to the theaters, we're just gonna be like, oh yeah, this is that scene. However, if we did get to see that scene in theaters without it being spoiled in the trailers, then we would have been like, holy shit! Now the next thing that this trailer spoiled for us is the whole scene in which Spider-Man is trying to fix the boat and trying to save everyone. Because just now we get to see more footage of that specific scene. And again, this does cheapen the impact if we were ever to see it in cinemas. And although it doesn't show you literally every single frame of that sequence, showing us more of that specific sequence kinda cheapens the impact for us. Remember that amazing shot when Spider-Man is trying to hold everything together and struggling? That really did shock the whole audience whenever we saw it in the first trailer, because we were just wondering how the fuck is Spider-Man even going to cope with this? And then this trailer decides to spoil more of that sequence by revealing Iron Man trying to stop the boat and fix Spider-Man's mess. And revealing that specific shot in the trailer was not needed whatsoever, because it cheapens the experience for everyone. Now the next one is a little more of a minor nitpick for me personally, and that is of course revealing the motivations of the Vulture. The way I see it, I'd rather have trailers reveal the villain and show how badass they are, only for the final product to just reveal their true motivations and all their character traits. Now from the interviews and this trailer specifically, we know that the Vulture works as part of damage control, in which fixes any collateral damage for any superhero incidents. And after a certain incident that happens within Homecoming, Tony Stark decides to tamper with Adrian Toomes' contract. And because of this, Adrian Toomes is losing his job and can't even save his family. So he decides to pretty much use all the technology that the damage control gained and pretty much use it for his own needs. And honestly, I think it's fine to reveal a bit of the Vulture's motivations. However, I feel like they revealed an extra layer on top of that. And honestly, I feel like they should have kept the whole Tony Stark tampering thing away from the trailers. Because I feel like the trailers should have depicted the Vulture as a badass, and keep his sympathetic side as a secret. Next we get to the actual Homecoming, which features Zendaya. Now we already knew that Zendaya is meant to be a major character in the film, however the original trailer depicted her as being anything but Peter Parker's love interest. But in the new trailer they decided to do a complete 180 and just reveal it right here and then. Now I'm not from America or anything, so please correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the whole point about a homecoming within a high school about finding a date and have a dance with them? Because if that's the case, then they pretty much spoiled the whole outcome of the homecoming for Peter Parker. Because the actual homecoming is meant to be a huge plot point for Peter Parker, and they pretty much just spoiled the ending for that specific plot point. Now the next thing is pretty interesting, because we get to see that Peter Parker has to give up his new updated suit after the whole incident with the boat. And then we have that whole subplot about Peter Parker trying to be defined as a man instead of being the suit. Which is a very good parallel in comparison to Tony Stark from Iron Man 3, in which he had to go with that similar situation and learn that whole moral. Which then leads to Spider-Man having to use his old costume. Unlike how we all assumed that originally he had his updated costume wrecked, and so Peter Parker had to rely on his older costume. And again, I feel like this is one of these things that should have been left out of the trailers, because again it cheapens the experience. And this is very problematic. Now the last thing I'm going to touch on is the fact that Spider-Man Homecoming has decided to pretty much spoil the whole third act. and show us a lot of different footage of the final battle between Spider-Man in his old costume against the Vulture. Now, if they were only to show glimpses of the Vulture in action, then I would be perfectly okay with this. However, they decided to show more than that and show more shots of the final battle. And again, we have the Vulture overpowering Spider-Man in his old costume, as well as unmasking him. And having a villain unmasking the hero should always never be revealed in a trailer, because this reveals too much of the story. And what I'm trying to say in this video is the fact that less is more, and you can't just reveal everything. Now, just to make this perfectly clear, I am not shitting on the actual film, and like I said in the beginning of the video, I am excited for Spider-Man Homecoming. And what's been shown looks absolutely spectacular, however they're just revealing too much. Which is especially shocking considering this is Marvel Studios and they often keep a lot of secrets from within the trailers. But then again, Sony is part of Spider-Man Homecoming as well, and every film that they produce in relation to Spider-Man, they always have a tendency of revealing too much. So are you still excited for Spider-Man Homecoming, or are you worried that they reveal too much? Comment below and share some thoughts. And as always, thank you guys for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, take care and have a good one.